You call yourself an entrepreneur? That's a joke. You're just a slave to a program you wrote for yourself, designed by your own fear. You wake up, you check your email, you respond to meaningless messages, and you tell yourself you're working. You're not. You're just pretending to be productive to silence the voice in your head that tells you the truth. You're not growing because you're soft. Your business is stagnant because your mind is clogged with excuses. Your bank account is empty because you're operating at 40% capacity, and you think that's enough. It's not. Today, we aren't talking about motivation. Motivation is for the weak, for those who need a sugar-coated lie to get out of bed. We're talking about a system override. We're talking about ripping out the faulty code in your brain and replacing it with the relentless, brutal discipline of a conqueror. Look at your schedule. You're tired? Tired of what? Tired of moving papers around? Tired of sitting in meetings that could have been emails? Real work doesn't happen when you're comfortable. Real work happens when you feel like quitting, when your margins are thin, when your biggest client walks away, when your product launch flops. That is the moment of truth. That is when most business owners start looking for scapegoats. They blame the economy, they blame the algorithm, they blame their team. You're looking for external reasons because acknowledging that you are the bottleneck is the most painful thing in the world. Your obsession with work-life balance is a cancer to your potential. If you want to build an empire, you don't get balance, you get total immersion. In the arena of business, there is no prize for participation. There is no trophy for trying hard. There is only profit or loss, growth or decay. You're decaying because you've optimized your life for comfort, and comfort is the silent killer of greatness. Let's look at your numbers. Your discipline is your most valuable asset. It's not your marketing budget, your tech stack, or your connections. It's your ability to execute when you have zero desire to do so. If you can't force yourself to make that cold call, you're losing money. If you can't force yourself to do the deep work when you'd rather doom scroll on social media, you're losing money. Every time you negotiate with yourself and lose, you are literally hemorrhaging cash. You think these are small slips? No, these are cracks in your foundation. And cracks eventually lead to a total collapse. David Goggins didn't care if he liked running in the rain at 4 a.m. He didn't care about his feelings. He treated his body like a machine. You need to treat your business like an uncompromising engine. It doesn't matter if you have the mood to work. Moods are for amateurs. You must become a machine that operates on absolute cold logic. You must learn to despise your own laziness more than you fear failure. That is how you become bulletproof. Most entrepreneurs think they are working at 100% capacity because they are busy for 10 hours a day. That is the ultimate lie. You are busy, but you aren't productive. You are performing administrative theater, checking off low-value tasks like organizing your inbox, tweaking your logo for the 10th time, or debating strategy with people who have no skin in the game. When you feel like you have hit your limit, when your brain is screaming that you are exhausted, that is when you are actually at 40%. In business terms, this 40% threshold is where your revenue plateaus. To break it, you have to do the things that make you physically uncomfortable. This means making the sales call you're dreading because you fear rejection. It means firing the nice employee who isn't hitting their KPIs because you're afraid of the confrontation. It means auditing every single hour of your week and asking yourself, did this specific hour move the needle on my bottom line, or was I just performing busyness to feel safe? If you aren't doing the work that scares you, you aren't working at 100%. You're just hiding. Most entrepreneurs are playing a game of pretend. They build websites, they order business cards, they set up fancy offices. That's just armor to hide the fact that they have no foundation. I'm telling you to strip it all away. Conduct a mental breach. Take your biggest fear, the fear that you aren't good enough, the fear that you'll be exposed as a fraud, and stare it in the face until it dissipates. When you break the program, you realize that the walls of your office are just prison bars you put there yourself. You need to implement a scorched earth policy in your business. Audit your time. If a task doesn't move the needle toward revenue or growth, delete it. If a person in your circle makes you comfortable with being average, cut them off. You are the architect of your own reality, and currently you're building a shack when you should be building a skyscraper. Stop waiting for the perfect market, or the right moment. The market is irrelevant. The moment is now. Stop blaming the market. Stop blaming your leads. Stop blaming the difficult environment. It is time for a brutal accountability audit. Go to a mirror, the same place where you will face the only person who can actually change your financial destiny, and answer these questions without lying to yourself. Have I mastered my craft, or am I still an amateur pretending to be an expert? Do I allow myself to be distracted by dopamine hits like social media or learning instead of actually building? Am I surrounding myself with people who challenge me to scale, or people who make me feel comfortable with mediocrity? If I were a competitor looking at my own business, would I be afraid of me? Or would I think I'm an easy target? If you can't look yourself in the eye and answer these honestly, you don't have a business problem. You have a character problem. You cannot scale a business if you cannot scale your own discipline. You are the system, and if the system is failing, it is because you are the weak link in the chain. Break the cycle. You will never reach the next level of wealth or impact by doing what you've always done. You are hitting a ceiling, and you're going to keep hitting it until you break through your own internal limitations. The truth hurts. That's why you've been avoiding it. But pain is the greatest teacher you will ever have. It will teach you exactly where your weaknesses are. So here's your assignment. Pick the one task you've been procrastinating for the last 30 days, the one that actually matters, the one that will actually make you money. Do it today, not tomorrow, not on Monday. Today, right now. If you don't do it, stop calling yourself an entrepreneur. Go get a job. Go back to the safety of the program. But if you want to be dangerous, if you want to conquer your life, then stop making excuses. Face the mirror and start working. Stay hard.